Okay, so this session is called App Mashup. And what Mashup means basically that everybody kind of gets together and they share their ideas or their favorites and those kinds of things. And so we're just going to do that tonight on apps. So one of the first ones that I learned about that I love last year from, if you can believe it, some of our high school tech boys. And the one boy said that he's like, I'm sure you'll probably, all moms probably will like this app, but I hate it. And so, and I am like, that got my work. It's called Life 360. And basically what it does is I have Dave and Elizabeth on here, and it shows me where they are. So like Miss Elizabeth is driving to school in her school permit now. So we can track her where she's at and make sure, you know, when she leaves Kemper, she's on her right path home, no detours, that kind of thing. And so I just click on one person and it shows me where they are. Now everybody is home tonight, but it lets me know when, like say if I'm at Kemper and Dave gets home before I do, I get a little beep that he's home. Because anytime you get in that little purple area, that's like your home base, and so it lets you know where you are. This app also shows where the registered sex offenders are located in your area, where you're at. It also can show the history of what all, where the phone or whatever has been at all day. Also, when Elizabeth was in Washington, D.C. and took that trip, I was able to track where they were and when they were going, which was kind of funny because I would get these long, sad phone calls and I'd look on the app and I'm like, oh yeah, she's on the bus. So I knew that she had like a downtime and I could see, I'm like, I bet she's going to call soon. And sure enough, she would, but it was just kind of funny. But I really like it. It's a good way for us to kind of keep tabs on the kids and make sure, you know, and it beeps if I go to bed, it beeps for me and let me know that, you know, when she gets home and stuff too. And I'm pretty late sleeper, so most of the time I do wake up with it, but not always. But so I really do like the Life 360.
Mary, does that suck your battery life down a lot when you use that?
Nope, it really doesn't.
Okay. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I thought it would, but you know what? We haven't had any issues with it.
Okay.
Yep, really like it. The other one that I am so addicted to is 1010. Have you guys played this yet? It's a game.
Yeah, it's addicting.
Okay, yeah. If you notice, yeah, I have 2,517 is my highest score, and that's because I had a virus for 7 days over Christmas break. And I can't get it anymore. But basically, you move these shapes up, and you want to try and make rows or rows or columns and all the way across, and so then it keeps track of, you know, what you're doing. And if you get it all lined up, then it will erase that line. And if you don't do enough of those, then it shuts off on you and says, you know, you're a loser type thing, and you got to try again. But it's kind of a right up my alley. I like problem solving type of things like this, puzzles type of things. So that's another one I really do like and use a lot. Find Scan. This is awesome. Okay, so how many times are you at home and like, I get a lot of these emails that says, you know, they want me to print it off and sign it and then send it back to them. Well, that's fine if we're at school and we have the scanner there. You can scan it on the copy machines, but what about when you're home? This app, it's called Find Scan. It will scan documents and email them to whoever, and it's just like a document. So it comes out just perfect, just like a scanner would. So, and you can save it in different ways. You can save it as a JPEG. You can save it as a PDF. You can save it as all kinds of different things. And you can also choose the different sizes of how to email it to somebody. And it is really slick. So you just kind of hold it over your document. You take a picture. It's connected to your phone. And then from there, you can edit it where you can make, there's usually 4 dots. And you can line those 4 dots up onto the paper, like the corners of the paper. And then it kind of stretches it out and makes it look like it's like a normal paper. And this has worked out really, really well. I mean, I haven't had any problems with it. With the scans I've done, they've turned out just like I was down on a copy machine scanning. So that's a really good one. I use that quite often. Flick, I haven't used that that much, but it looks like kind of that blue app there with the chevrons. But basically what that does, if you have a picture or anything like that, you can pull it up here and I can flick it to you. So if you're on another device in our area, like if I had a picture or something, I could pull a picture up from my photo albums, and I could then, like say for instance, Dave's in front of me right now, I could flick a picture of me to him, you know, because I'm sure he wants one, and then he would have it on his phone. So that's kind of how we do that. It's kind of fun because sometimes my kids flick, you know, my daughter flicks some stuff to me that I really don't want to see. But anyway, that's kind of fun. And you can do that with, I think, contacts. You can do it with pictures. You can write a little note and send it. And you can even play like tic-tac-toe or dice too, or play tic-tac-toe or play a ball game. So you can go kind of back and forth when you flick it back and forth. So it's kind of cool.
So do you both have to have the app to be able to use it?
Yep, you both have to have Flick to use it.
Okay.
Yep, and it's a free app, so that one's kind of fun. And especially if you have a lot of students in your class, you know, and they all have, you know, a smartphone or an iPhone, you can flick a paper to them or a picture or whatever too, and you can do that. That's pretty cool. Yesterday I talked about Dropbox. I'll always talk about Dropbox. One of my favorites too is because it houses all my pictures and videos from my phone. I need to go in and upload a bunch of pictures again. Once it goes up to Dropbox, then I can easily put them in folders, and it uploads them chronologically too, which is really nice. But then I can share those folders with, like, for instance, all my brothers and sisters. And it's really easy. For them to go in and create a free account. It's really easy then for them to get to it because they're not very tech savvy. So if they can get it, anybody can. So I really like that. And then I have it so that it saves, and it's just a cloud saving. So it saves in the cloud, and then I also have it backed up on my laptop. So anything that goes up to the cloud is also then saved to my laptop as well. So I have it really in 2 places, which I kind of like that. And I have it in 3 places until I get it off my phone, which that's kind of the point of clearing off your phone and kind of keeping that so it's not so cluttered. Around Me, have you guys used this one before? Anybody? Yeah. This is really, really great when you're traveling and you're in a different town or city and you don't know where you are or where to find things. It finds your location, and like, for instance, if I want to go to the bars in my location, I can click bars, and up comes up all of the bars in or close by my location. So that's really nice. Now, you may not always be, you know, emergency for a drink, but you may be an emergency for like a hospital or a gas station. Those things are here too. Hotels, all that kind of things. Movie theaters, movies, parking, pharmacy, restaurants, supermarkets, taxis, theater, and the weather too. So there's lots of things. And I believe too, yeah, if I click on one of those places, I believe then, yeah, when I click on one of those, it gives me the option that it'll call that place for me. So that's really nice too. Like if you're in another city and you're driving around and you want to make reservations someplace, you know, then you don't know where, but you're out and you don't know their number and all that jazz, you can go to the Around Me and you can click call, and boom, it calls the place and you can make a reservation. So that's really kind of nice. I've used that one quite often. And then along with that too is Find My Car. How many of you have walked out of a shopping mall and not been able to find your car? Yeah, that happens to me, especially like when I'm traveling and, you know, I park in like one of those, you know, parking ramps or whatever, or even if I'm like at the long-term parking, I'm like, oh my gosh, where I don't remember where my car was and all of that kind of thing. So Find My Car allows you to set up, when you get to your car, you say, okay, well, the top one says set your location. And then it sets a location GPS-wise. And then if you want, you can take a picture of the area that's around you too, so that you kind of know that that's what you're looking for. So I just took a picture of my cabinets. and then that kind of gives you a reminder where to look. And then what it happens is, let's say you go inside, you shop, and then you want to come back to this, and you say, find my car. And so now I'm going to tap that down there, and then it's going to show where my car is and where I am. And it's going to get me closer or further away. It's like a little dot. That'll get either closer or further away, depending upon which direction you're going. But very helpful. We've used that one quite a bit too. Okay. Now we have some going around. I'm going to have you guys go around a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to see if anybody else is joined too. Let's see.
Mary, I was able to connect, so it's showing a picture of Mary Ann. You can take me off the phone, but where that little box is, I am available.
Okay.
I see you now.
All right. Good deal. Okay.
I don't see myself over here.
Yeah, you might have to turn on your, over in the left-hand corner where it says video, you might want to see if you could turn that on. Okay. All right. If not, that's okay too. We don't have to.
All right. No problem.
It's good for when you have a bad hair day.
Sounds good. No problem.
What's funny, when I have some of my STEM meetings, one time this group, I don't know, they're all over Iowa, and these, they're kind of presidents of companies and stuff like that. We're talking about Iowa Energy and blah, blah, blah. And this one guy, he says to me, he was like, where are you located, Mary? And I'm like, oh, I'm in the high school. And he's like, oh, because it looked like a bathroom. Did you ever see my office, with the bricks and stuff? I'm like, oh my gosh, it does. It's like a bathroom. I'm like, no, they actually have me in an office, and not in a bathroom. And it was so funny because I actually met the two guys in person. Two of the guys that joined, and one guy's like, oh, you remember Mary, don't you? She's the one with the office in the bathroom. And he's like, oh yeah, it's her. So anyway, oh geez. All right, so Mary Jane Ascheid was going to show us Word Brain. I have not used that one. Have any of you guys used Word Brain?
Mm-hmm.
No? Okay, so that's on there, but it says that one is a challenging game using words, not worms, words. And Amy, you're up next on my list, so I'm going to have you tell us about yours. PhotoGrid?
Amy or Amy Overmall?
Amy Roy.
Okay. I use a lot of PhotoGrid. It's an app where you can take any of your pictures that you have on your device, and then you can upload them into collages. You can choose cool borders and backgrounds and add text and all that sort of good stuff. So it's really easy to use. It's a step-by-step process, and yeah, it's really fun.
Can you then upload those to like Facebook and things like that too?
Yep.
So I always kind of wonder how some of them are getting their collages and stuff. You see on Facebook sometimes, I haven't got.
Yeah, they're super easy.
Okay.
And then you can save them as a picture, and then you can print them off of, like Dropbox or Shutterfly or whatever. So yeah, it's really easy to use.
That would come in handy, like for instance, if you're pregnant with twins,
Exactly. That's where our Facebook photo announcement came from. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. And then I have you down for Map My Walk or Run. I have this one too.
A lot. And I haven't used it a whole lot. I downloaded it right before I found out I was pregnant, so I haven't gotten to use that one a whole lot. But it just tracks how many calories you're burning. It'll track where you're walking and then show you a map of what you have just walked and tell you how many miles in the distance. And I thought that would be kind of handy because sometimes you go for a walk, you're like, oh, I wonder how far that was. And if you have your phone on you, why not just track it? So.
And I used this a lot last year. I would walk around the golf course and to my house. So it's like a little over 3 miles. And it was so funny all the time. Like she would be like, 1 mile. She had kind of an English accent. And then, she'll tell you, you did that mile in, 15 minutes, 15 seconds. Let's try harder next time, or something like that. And I'm like, lady, you're giving me a complex.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I know. But she would always say that, let's try and get a faster time next time. So they're like, okay. So you kind of start going faster. But I like it too because it connects right to your music as well. So you can play your music through that too. So you can hear your music and then walk, and then she cuts in when it's time, you just hit 1 mile or whatever. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Do you have any more, Amy, that you want to share?
Not really. I don't think off the top of my head.
Okay. If something pops up, let us know.
All right.
Marianne Spicer, you're next on my
right.
list. Do you want to talk to us about
Okay.
Padlet?
Yeah, I do. Let's see if I can get to call up my block here. Well, I share my screen. Yeah, in dealing with Padlet, one of the things I do every year, can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. During Catholic School Week, I always love for students to give their feedback about the theme and what they feel about going to school at particularly Kemper, or, if they've been to, the other schools down at the elementary or middle school level, for them to give us some feedback. So most of my classes will go in and then they will give us their feedback. Students also have an opportunity to read what they place on this particular wall and respond. I have 3 classes that have responded so far, and they've done a very good job. One can go through. All you have the students do is give them the link. They click twice, and they're able to place their name and their feedback concerning whatever the instructions were that you gave them at the very top. And I also tie all of this into the Iowa core because that helps me for documentation when I have to go back and say, yes, I did this and this and that, and it falls under this particular standard.
That's
and you
awesome.
can see how colorful the wall is. I chose yellow because yellow stands out, and it gets your attention, and it has the party background and everything.
It's very nice. You have come quite a long ways with Padlet there. That's awesome.
Oh, trial and error.
I love it. Now, let me ask you, have you had any issues at all with kids typing things inappropriate or anything like that ever? Or just being silly?
I have not. And again, these are advanced classes, and then, this is certainly college English, honors 10, and then my speech classes, which is general classes for students, and they've all done very well because you're sitting there and you have it on the screen and they know the teacher's looking at this information.
That's good. That's awesome. Because, this is one of those environments, too, which it's great where collaboration can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Their instant learning and things of that nature, their comprehension. But, it's always one of those things, too. There's the opportunity for them to mess around. It's just whether or not they choose to do it or not. So that's
exactly right.
I think a lot of that has to do with, the expectations you set as a teacher, too. So that speaks for you, too, as well, so that you haven't had any problems. So that's great.
No, they seem to enjoy it, too, especially reading what others have written. You know how that is with collaboration. And at the very bottom of this screen, I have the students from the 10th grade speech class evaluate what the others have written and give their feedback, whether they agree or disagree with the comment. This also works well when I want a big collaborative group, and I don't want everyone to go in and give me a response. I'll have 3 to 4 individuals in a group, and they have one person, kind of like what we used to do with professional development, and they will provide the input on screen.
That's awesome. All right, great. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think, can you, unshare your screen?
Yeah, unshare.
Or
let me try to unshare.
Stop sharing. You might say stop
sharing. There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go. Thank you. See, look, you're like a Zoom pro now. Look at you go. Marianne, I am going to turn you into a geek one of these days. It's coming. You just don't see it coming. It's just going to sneak up on you.
Don't have very long. Retirement is knocking on my door.
Oh, it is? Oh, man.
65 in May. Hey.
Well, geez, Louise. I still have time. I'll get you. Okay. Next, Meg. Let me pull up my chat here. Meg has on the first step you showed. Does everyone that you are tracking have? Yeah. On the one I showed, the Live 360, they all need to have iPhones, yeah. And that's why Tyler, I'm not tracking his because you have to have a smartphone. that can have GPS. And Tyler's phone doesn't have that. It's just your basic flip phone. That's all that he really kind of needs. So he doesn't get straight too far from us anyway, that so far yet, but that day may be coming as well. So, but yeah, they have to have a smartphone so that they can have internet access and so that and Meg, you have down here that you like story chimes. Do you want me to kind of just talk about that? Or do you want to type something in the chat? I'll read what you kind of have here, and if you have anything else to add, how about we do that, and then you let us know. Story chimes are stories that can be read aloud to you or read alone, but children have to touch the arrow to turn the page. Words are highlighted when touched or read. Many are free. I use this instead of my old books on tapes or CDs. Kids can do it themselves with less hassle and with no CD or tape player. Yeah, that's nice. So it's sort of like your reading center almost, or like your listening center when they would listen to books and stuff. I remember I always had like big Ziploc bags with the book in it and the tape, and then you put it on a hanger from Walmart, you know, the ones that clip on like the pants hangers, and then you hang them all up. I had those. Oh, I had tons of those. So this is a nice thing too. Sorry, Dave's finishing eating dinner tonight. So yeah. Okay, you're loud. All right. And Meg also had Map My Walker run as well too. So she must use that also. That's a good one to kind of keep you motivated. I think my next little purchase would probably be a Fitbit. I don't have one yet, but I'm kind of interested about how many steps I take a day, and something that tells me it's probably less than what I think it is. You know, it's one of those things that I'm like, well, I do kind of run around a lot, but I have a feeling I sit more than I think I do. So anyway, let's see. Who else is on our line? I think Susan popped off. How about Amy Overmole? What do you have? Do you have any apps that you really like, Amy?
Yes. I just added it like 15 minutes ago, but I really like the Target Cartwheel. I don't know if you guys can see Target Cartwheel. So you can save a lot of money by going into different things. There's different specials and things that you guys can get only on Cartwheel that they only offer to people that have a Cartwheel account or whatever. So, like for example, this fall, I always check it before I go shopping. So I checked something, like I checked it like the night before, and it said a one-day only special on boots for 40% off at Target. And it was a one-day only, and I happened to be going to Ames. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like going to go there and look at boots. So I got a pair of boots 40% off.
Nice.
There's also like, so you can go into collections. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but you can go into collections and you can click on hot deals, and it will show like what the hot deals are. Like for example, if you're a chocolate lover, there's 30% off Valentine candy and things like that. So I always am checking it and seeing what's going on, because it's different than their weekly ads. It's like more savings and stuff. So I really like that. And I seem to get pretty good deals on certain things. So, and then another one that I wanted to talk about was the Shutterfly app. And I love the Shutterfly app, and Amy Roy is the one that taught me how to use it. She had a little mini lesson, yay! And then last night when she was telling us, you know, that there was a special on pictures and things, I went on there and I had a whole bunch of pictures from Paige that she wanted some things printed off, and when she, you know, went to the Iowa game, and so I printed a bunch of pictures, 101 pictures, and you only had to pay for shipping, and it was free, 101 pictures. So I did that right from my phone, and I did it in 5 minutes. It was awesome.
Cool.
And then, yep, and I already have an account, and so it just like and I checked out really quick, and they're on their way already shipped. So
So
I enjoy that too. I use it because I have a website on bullying, and I use their pictures. I just had to be careful not to double click because I was billed twice.
Oh, yep. Yep, you got to wait on, and let it like think or whatever. So, and then I also use the Shutterfly app. I didn't this year, but I have in the past, shared pictures with parents because I know that was a big thing. A lot of the elementary teachers did that, and parents love to see pictures. So I'll probably do that again in the spring and send or share those with all the parents at the end of the year. So they really like that stuff. So
that's great. I know, like too, around Christmas time, I'll download the apps of the stores that I know we're going to go to because it works, and I'll turn on my locator too, or my location, where my location. I'll turn the services. Thank you, Dave. I'll turn those on because what happens, like I did it for the outlet mall in Gretna. Is it Gretna?
So did I.
And what's crazy is, like, as soon as I walked into a store, that coupon came up on my phone. I'm like, dude, I like this. I could probably be one of those coupon ladies that would have binders if I had more time, but I'm known for, if we're going on a shopping trip, I get coupons for everybody. I search them out, and so I love a good deal, especially. So yeah, I'm all about shopping and getting a good bargain, man.
Have you guys heard of Retail Me Not?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay,
I always
that's
look up coupons.
Fun one.
Another good one, it's online, it's not an app, is Mama Saves Big. Is another good one for coupons. I go to that. Those are good for printable coupons. So if you want to print, they have other ones that are online too, but the printable ones are good. Yeah, for sure.
So Mary, are you talking about the premium outlet app?
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about, right? Yep. That is awesome.
Yeah. And so or if I go to Williamsburg too, and go to that outlet mall, download the app because you're going to get more bargains and stuff like that you can't find anyplace else. They just have them just for the app. And so it's really kind of nice. And then they just pop up. And Elizabeth, I've got her so trained, man. It's awesome shopping with her because she'll pull it up on her phone. That way I can look for stuff and she's like, oh, this one's da-da-da. And so we work together. And when she's looking for stuff, I'll find the coupons for her and vice versa. So weird.
And you said that was on Retail Me Not?
Yeah. Retail Me Not is another one. Yeah. And Mama Saves Big is the one that's good for printing. Printing out coupons. Yeah, those are good. I'm trying to think what else too. There's a lot of them that I use, just different things. Like I have a Costco one too, and Fairway has one for their ad too, or Fairway has an app too that you can look at the local ad. And if you don't have to cut out the coupon, you can just show the coupon at the checkout. I've done that before. And of course, the weather apps. I really do like, and I paid for it, that 13 Warn Me app. I think that was like 13 or 14 bucks, but it's worth it. I mean, in the middle of the night, when we were, if we get a tornado warning or whatever, it goes off and, lets us know. And otherwise we would never have a clue, So that's what I kind of like about that too. And it kind of goes wherever you are and stuff too. So that's another good one that I like a lot. And then, if you doctor at McFarland Clinic, have you guys heard of My Chart?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And it's just for McFarland Clinic, but basically it creates, it has an app, and what's nice about it too, it has like all your medications that they have on file. That's all right here. And then, like, for instance, if you have test results, let's say you get a test done, they show up here too, so you don't have to call the doctor and to find out what your test results are. They're all right there. And then one other thing that I really like, and I'm sure Julie will kill me, but I email Julie Perkins, my doctor, when I have questions, and she emails me back in a day or two.
Nice.
Without going to the doctor, which is so super cool. So I would suggest if you doctor there to take a look at that. It has also keeps track of all your appointments that you've had in the past or that are upcoming. It'll send you even a ding when it is something. I mean, it is pretty outstanding. And the best part too is this is me, but I also have Elizabeth's and Tyler's on here too. All of his information too, which is nice, especially for Tyler. He's got lots of meds that he's on. So it's nice to have that with me, and I can just, push on meds and read them off, and let them know. But it's I really do like it a lot, especially that email thing. And that's awesome. Because, sometimes you just want to ask a question and not pay the copay just to ask the question, or is this normal, or is this something I should worry about? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, she's been really great and she's always emailed me back like the next day, which is totally cool. So, all righty. Did I miss anybody for sharing?
I haven't shared.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Carla. All right, Carla.
Well, I don't have a smartphone, but I am really impressed with all of these awesome apps that everyone's talking about. And my girls have been after me for years and years and years to get a phone. And so this is probably going to put me over the edge. I'm going to go into the 21st century.
I love it.
But I did pick out a website that I like, and there's probably an app with that or something similar to it, and it's called Spark People. And anyone who is wanting to eat healthier or to lose weight, it's all free. And you can put in how many calories you want for your diet. It'll bring up suggested menus that you can follow. You can put in what you're eating for each meal, and it will total the calories and also figure the nutrition, whether you're getting enough protein or too many carbs and so on with it. And there's even a way that you can interact with other members of Spark People so that they can give you encouragement as you're working through your weight loss.
Cool.
So it's really a neat website, and I'm sure there's something that you can get on your smartphone for an app that would, keep track of all of that as well besides your computer.
Yeah. I'm a Weight Watchers girl, and I'm back on it full-fledged again because I ate too much over the holidays, and therefore I'm back on again. But I love their app too, because you can scan foods, the UPCs of food, and it tells you how many points it's worth. And then there's a calculator where you can calculate how much, how many points you use that day and stuff like that, along with your activities, and it tracks your weight and all that good stuff. So I really do like that one a lot. I like to be able to scan stuff. In fact, sometimes Elizabeth will take my phone and just scan everything in the kitchen and write down what the point values are and some things. So she's just my little helper. But it's really kind of nice then, so then you don't have to, figure it out. It's just right there. So that's nice to have too.
Carla, I just looked it up, and they do have an app.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Another reason to get a phone.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool. Absolutely. And that website that I like, that Plan to Eat, they do have an app for that too. And I really do like that website. If you guys haven't heard about, I sent that out a while ago, but it helps you to plan your meals for the week or 2 weeks or a month, whatever you want to do. And then it spits out your grocery list too from what your recipes, and you can collect recipes and say, okay, I want to have, beef stroganoff here and soup here. Those recipes, it's just like pinning them to Pinterest, but there's a little icon at the top that you click, and it pulls the recipe off any website that you have. And so when you move that recipe over into your calendar, your planner, where you want to eat it, then it automatically takes the ingredients and makes a grocery list for you.
Wow. And
then you can go back in and delete, what you don't need or what you have at home. And I tell you what, it's been awesome because I found that, I have to do this kind of stuff on the weekends because during the week we're just crazy busy. There's something every night. And so it's so nice then to plan ahead, and I would make stuff maybe on Saturday and Sunday, and it saves money. It's kind of crazy, but if you plan out your meals and what you're going to eat and just buy just those things that you need, it really does save money. So I really like that kind of thing.
I may have to check that out for my foods class.
Yeah, and you can print out the menu and stuff too for the week, so that's nice. We'll bring it home for the kids, and I'm like, okay, plan on Wednesday because there's vegetables you don't like, or whatever. But
so there's no set foods or recipes. You can input any recipe you want.
Yep. In fact, what I did to get started is I'm a big Pinterest user too, and so I have a whole Pinterest board on just Weight Watcher food, for instance, and so our recipes. And so I just went in my board, pulled that website up, clicked plan to eat, it put it right in there. And then I went through and I actually printed off all of my recipes, because that way, and you can do that each week if you want, but I printed them all off too, so I'd have them at home too, I put in a binder. So it's really nice to have all that ready to go. But plus it's so hard sometimes to think of what to eat,
Right.
Yeah.
And then you ask everybody and nobody has input, but they're sure, they're sure happy to complain about whatever you made.
Yeah.
So anyway, all righty. Well, cool. Is there any other apps or anything else that anybody kind of wants to share? And
Well, if you know of anybody who's pregnant, you can share with them to get the what to expect when you're expecting app.
you have that?
I do. It's really nice actually, because every week a little message pops up and it says what week you are, and it says how big the baby should be and what you might be experiencing for body symptoms, and it shows you a video of like the baby development. So it is really kind of cool.
Oh, neat.
So if you know of anybody that you guys want to share that with.
Well, gee, it's like every other person at Kemper right now is pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
And that's very good for all of you to be pregnant. All of you.
Yeah.
Hey, Carla, they're counting us out.
That's right. I don't believe it. But I'd be glad to hold your babies until they start crying. And I'll come back to you.
Is there an app for a babysitting service? We can start that.
That would be a good thing.
That would be a good idea.
No kidding. All righty. Well, guys, unless there's anything else, that should do it for us for tonight. It was a fun session. It was great to hear your ideas and things too. And what I'll do is I'll update the spreadsheet that I have, and that way you guys will have that too, because I sent it out in that email today. So I'll just kind of update those things that you guys added to make sure we're all up to date, and I'll make sure I get your attendance put in also. So, all right.
All right. Thanks, Mary.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Bye everyone.